All right, let's go on an incredible journey, but we're not going to some faraway place. Nope, we're going inside, into the amazing, watery world that is your own body. Let's dive right in. So check this out, 60%. What is that? Well, that's roughly how much of your body is just fluid. Kind of wild, right? We're not nearly as solid as we think we are. You could say we're basically walking, talking oceans. But what does that actually mean for how we function every day? Okay, so when you hear that 60%, you might picture one big pool of water sloshing around inside you. But it's not like that at all. It's actually super organized. Our body fluid is divided into two totally separate environments, two worlds, really. And this separation is absolutely key to keeping us alive. You know, this idea isn't new. Way back in the 19th century, this brilliant physiologist, Claude Bernard, had this amazing aha moment. He figured out that our cells, all trillions of them, can't just survive in any old conditions. They need to be floating in a perfectly stable, perfectly constant environment to do their jobs. And he gave it a great name, the internal environment. And that internal environment he was talking about, that's our first fluid world. It's called the extracellular fluid. The key word there is extra, meaning outside. This is the fluid outside of our cells. It's literally the inner ocean that all of our cells are bathed in. It's like a delivery service, bringing them everything they need and taking away the trash. So if that was the outside world, where's the rest of the water? Well, the other 2/3 is in our second fluid world, the intracellular fluid. Intra means inside. This is the liquid that's locked away inside every single one of your 100 trillion or so cells. This is the private VIP area where all the real action, all the chemical reactions that we call life, actually happen. Okay, so we've got the ocean outside the cells and the fluid inside the cells. But here's where it gets really interesting. These two worlds aren't just in different places. Chemically, they are night and day, radically different. And I know what you might be thinking. Come on, it's all just water with some stuff dissolved in it, right? How different can it possibly be? The answer? Way, way different. And honestly, this difference is one of the most fundamental principles in our entire biology. Just take a look at this. It's a snapshot of the chemical divide. That inner ocean outside the cells, it's loaded with sodium and chloride. Yeah, basically salt water. But step inside a cell, and it's a whole new world. It's packed with potassium and phosphate, stuff that's crucial for energy. This isn't random. It's a very deliberate high-energy state that your body works incredibly hard to maintain 24/7. So, if there's one thing to remember, it's this. Sodium is the star of the show outside the cell. Potassium is the king inside the cell. And by keeping them separated like this, our body creates an electrical charge across the cell's wall. It literally turns every single one of your cells into a tiny little battery. And that electrical power, that's what lets you think, move, feel, everything. So you've got to ask, how on earth does the body keep these two worlds so separate? How does it maintain that divide? Well, it all comes down to a microscopic but super powerful gatekeeper. That gatekeeper is the cell membrane. Every cell has one. And you shouldn't think of it as just a simple bag holding everything in. No way. It's a smart, active border patrol. It's covered in these tiny little pumps and gates that are constantly working, actively kicking sodium out and pulling potassium in. That's how it maintains that all-important chemical difference. All right, so the cell membrane is the bouncer at the door of each cell, controlling who gets in and who gets out. But what about the bigger picture? What keeps that whole inner ocean, the extracellular fluid, so perfectly stable and consistent for all the cells swimming in it? This brings us to a really elegant idea called homeostasis. Homeostasis is basically your body's superpower. It's this constant, automatic, behind-the-scenes process that's always working to maintain a stable internal state. It's why your body temperature doesn't just swing all over the place. And it's how your body makes sure that inner ocean is always just right. The perfect temperature with the perfect amount of oxygen, nutrients, you name it. So how does it pull off this balancing act? Well, it's all about circulation. Your blood is constantly on the move, making a full lap through your body about once a minute when you're resting. As it travels through these teeny tiny blood vessels called capillaries, it's like a sprinkler system. It leaks out fluid and all the good stuff to constantly refresh that inner ocean, and at the same time, it mops up all the waste products from the cells. But the circulatory system isn't a solo act, not at all. It has a huge support crew working around the clock. Your lungs are there, pumping fresh oxygen into the blood. Your gastrointestinal system is busy absorbing all the nutrients from the food you eat. And then you have the kidneys. They're like the master chemists of the operation, filtering out all the garbage and making super precise adjustments to keep your inner ocean perfectly balanced.
Okay, so this is all fascinating stuff, right? We've got these two different watery worlds inside us, and this incredible system called homeostasis keeping everything in check. So what? How does this apply to our daily lives? Let's get practical and talk about how you can take care of your own inner ocean. And you know what? It's not complicated. It really boils down to the basics. Staying hydrated? That just means you're making sure there's enough water to fill up that inner ocean. Ever wonder why sports drinks have electrolytes? Because when you sweat, you lose that sodium and potassium, and you need to replace them to keep those little cellular batteries charged. And, of course, eating a healthy diet gives your body all the raw materials it needs to deliver to those trillions of cells.
So, there you have it. It's pretty amazing to think about, isn't it? You're not just one thing. You're more like a walking ecosystem, a community of trillions of cells all living in this perfectly controlled sea inside you. Your body does all this automatically, without you even thinking about it. But it does make you wonder, if our bodies are already doing this incredible balancing act, what more can we do? What's the next step in really helping our bodies optimize this system for the best possible health? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.